are you today, ma'am? My name is Shaniqua Bonnier. I am from the channel HGQ uh, News, and I am from Detroit, Michigan. And how are you, ma'am?
I'm all right. I could be doing a lot better. But how are you today?
Oh, I'm okay. What I am doing today is I'm interviewing um, moms, parents at this time to just see how you guys are getting along with this new norm with the school system. Okay. Would you like to share your views with us?
I sure would. I really wish that they would get themselves together, get their act together. Have never known for the kids to be out of school so long. They're not getting any learning done being away from school. But the main thing is I'm at home with my children all day long. I'm a single mother of three. And these children, I'm trying to get them to wake up, to get to class or get to the computer to get to class and things like that. It's just really hard keeping them focused, keeping them to themselves because they're bothering me. I think I need a lifetime membership at the neighborhood liquor store. These kids around here, man, these three kids of mine are so bad. Oh.
Oh my goodness, ma'am. Ma'am, just quite frankly, I just want to ask you a few questions about that.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you realize that you were a mother of three?
I guess that would be after I had the third one. I realized that, yeah, I was a mother of three.
Good. And
Mm-hmm.
at what point did you realize that that's what mothers do, stay home, and mother their children? At what point did you come to that realization that that was all a part of motherhood, separate from a new norm that we have in this world today?
Well, I know that is a part of motherhood. When I was younger, I went to school for 18 years. I was out of the house, went to school, came back home after school, did what I was supposed to do after school as far as homework and help around the house. But I did get my break away from the house and get to go to school for those 8 hours. These kids have no break. They sitting up with me at home like all day, like I'm supposed to be their break or something.
Hmm. Okay. So, ma'am, again, at okay, so I get what you're saying. However, again, separate from the pandemic, how are you otherwise um, adapting to the new norm? Everything you've told me just thus far is simply motherhood. A mother is supposed to do what a mother is supposed to do. Okay, and I know you say you're familiar with that. This is your job as a mother to be there and no break. That's a mother, no break. That's it. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yeah, you're correct. You were correct. It's
Okay.
just really something new here, this whole pandemic and everything. It just be nice when things can get back to the regular normal.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am. See, so do you agree with the virtual side, or do you agree with the brick and mortar side, going back to school? Are you agreeing with that?
I kind of rather them be back at the brick and mortar school because this way, I don't have to worry about them sitting at the computer. They get tired of sitting at the computer if it's not a game or something that they want to do. They don't want to sit at the computer all day for class and then, to have to come back to the computer to do schoolwork. So I think the brick and in person would be a lot better for everyone.
Ma'am, just a quick brief question because I've heard some similar complaints of this.
Hmm.
At what point do you guys monitor and control your child's interactions online? Is there like a cutoff at any time? I mean, because that sounds, again, aside from the pandemic, that just sounds simply like motherhood, which is supervision, over social media, so supervision over your children and what they are able to see and be is, again, ma'am, separate from the pandemic. Do you agree?
Okay, well, one thing about it is it's different if it's your computer and the computer you get from the schools. the school's computer, they don't have all those restrictions and things like that that you can put on it. And I understand what you're saying, their own personal computers, when they had them, they had blocks and 2 hour a day limits and things like that, but now they have the school computers. So
Okay, ma'am, I'm so sincerely, I appreciate your time and your effort for this interview. However, my question to you was, how did it affect you in this pandemic? So far, you have not actually told me anything that is of abnormal in a parent-child relationship, staying home with your children, monitoring them on the computer, having a break. All of these are mommy takes. So I'm definitely appreciating your time, but I did not receive any answers to how this has changed in your life in regards to the new norm. Okay, but I thank you so much for your time, ma'am, and have a beautiful day. What's up, fam? I'm Info.
and I'm Tech.
What? Y'all better show us some respect.
That's right.
You heard me.
Yes, indeed.
Put some respect on our name. Anyway, Tech, show us an R in the comments, you guys, for respect. Man, Tech, how you feel about that video? That was deep, man. I just said to myself, self-contained, germ.
Yeah. Honestly, this whole pandemic and with schooling, virtual schooling, full day brick and mortar schooling, I think we should really get beyond this full day brick and mortar schooling. Beyond, I'd say probably the preschoolers up until maybe about the third graders, whatever, they might need that full day in class in school experience. But beyond third grade, we should be hybrid all the way. We should be moving into the future into hybrid. Because I mean, at this point, every child, every student should have a computer that they can work from, whether it's at home or school provided. And when you get to college, you know, you'll be taking most of your classes will be online and things like that. So why not gradually get the kids into this experience where they get used to hybrid learning? And then that saves classroom space for the primary kids, and the younger kids have more spread out, smaller classes, so that, you know, they can meet safely and get a more intense learning on which they need at the younger ages. And then also, what is this thing with using school for a babysitter? I think if we moved away from this full-time brick and mortar, that would cut down on some of these babies in the world too, right there, because I don't have the school to leave the kids with from 9 to 5 every day. Now the kids got to be with me, or I have to pay a babysitter to watch them. So I mean, that's a whole nother thought that goes into your head when you think about having kids and they're not at school all day from 9 to 5 until they 18.
Right. Now, my thing is that I know, because I want to respond to what you said first before the babysitter. What you said first is, why can't they move forward to the future? Well, I do know my experience with the public school system. When I worked for the public school system, it shocked me, you know, because it shocked me that most teachers didn't even know simply how to use a computer, first of all. Let alone, you know, they had that background, that BA, that master's or whatever like that. But when it came to online, they were straight finger. That just like, you know, anyway, like it's just real. When it came to online, it's like oblivion, right? So that's one reason, because we had those real, you know, powerful teachers, not saying they taking away anything, but they were not familiar with that online stream. So therefore, the kids could have got away with a lot of mess in that process. So in order for the kids to catch up, the teachers have to catch up first. So that's the only dilemma there.
Well, now they've had a whole school year. All of, was that 2019 to 2020, that whole school year, and in the 2020 school year,
You
they
ever
were
heard that thing you
virtual.
can't? You ever heard that thing? Sometimes you can't. Sometimes it may be hard to teach an old
Teach your
dog.
old new tricks. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
been a whole year. I mean,
So
if those,
sometimes, yeah, I heard so many horror stories about them even just converting for the short while that they were online.
yeah,
I mean, all this, and I'm like, again, not taken away from them, because it was some powerful, strong teachers that just lack in that new age area. You know what I mean? So this is, there's a thing there, so that's why they had to eventually, order out, they start telling people, you can teach, you know what I'm saying, you can teach online, you can be a teacher, you can, get these little jobs or whatever, part-time, being substitutes or whatever, even online, because they were more online savvy. That's not that the child will be learning, but they were just online savvy. So they're trying to get them, I see that what they're doing there until the teachers are really ready. Because think about it, the teachers have to be really ready. You understand what I'm saying? It can't be like fumbling and stumbling and, you know what I mean? Okay, well, I'm gonna get you this assignment. They have to be uploaded on the regular, but you gotta know what you're doing. Ain't nobody else doing that but the teacher. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever like that. So not unless they hire a separate entity for that, upload the kids' work, but that's not even going to be a teacher, right? That's going to take away from. So what I'm saying is a lot that entails that, and I get that part, because I'm definitely down with the future, like you said, because the future is moving towards no bullies, no massive shootings, no whatever else comes next, which is the sickness and stuff like that. So I'm definitely for that, for life, just moving towards what's next. Because what's next is better for us all.
But I don't think the goal is for them to move the height, but I think the goal has always been for them to be brick and mortar. Honestly, I think that's the goal, but they need to move away from that.
How else can you get money?
And that's the problem. And that's the whole push to get the kids back in school full time in the middle of a pandemic.
And pimp them out. And number one, and it's weird, and I know it's hard to say, but you're saving some kids' life, because some kids can't function at home. Some kids don't even need to be in that home, but they, trying to ride it out until they get a certain age or whatever like that. But you know how it is, like you said, those people want babysit, don't even want. I don't even. Anyway, you know how it goes. Some people have the kid but don't want the kid. Okay, so, or kids with an S, or just get short fused and didn't even know what it's, the whole concept of being a parent, like that woman. I like the way they interviewed her. Like, at what point did you realize, that's motherhood? That's simply motherhood. That's simply parentinghood. Okay, not taking away from the father either. That's parentinghood. Bottom line, is to be there on site, be that go-to. All right, all the time. All right, until they're able to, stand alone, safely. But nevertheless, this thing is tricky. It's actually scary, because the scary part for me is just the part where bullies are just waiting for a moment. You know what I mean? That's why as soon as they went back, you seen that situation where the school was shot up again, because somebody wasn't having it. Somebody wasn't going to be bullied, because they had a whole year to retrieve and get their heart together. All right, and realize what they want to do when they go back. Because that bully was waiting too, fully loading what they was going to do when they come back. So now it's almost remind me of like the end of the school year. You remember how everybody used to have that fight? Oh, it's going down the end of the. That's what it reminds me of. You know what I'm saying? So when they come back, it's like the end, but it's the beginning of the end. So that's like, it's a terror there. People have already shot out their threats to one another. You know what I'm saying? It's going down, because it's already going down on social media, because they cyber bully when they're not bullying them physically. Like I say, the best safe way, is to move forward and just let all that go. The bullies need help. They need psychiatry. They need to sit down with themselves, do some writing, get with some people one-on-one. You know what I mean? And we need to move further. The teachers, I believe with all my heart, just need to be not afraid of the system, how it's ever changing, and just accept the salary. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like it would be more of a salary for them if they're at home. You know what I'm saying? Because that way they can in turn use their home as a business. So I don't see what the complaint would be. You know what I'm saying? Instead of push the money to the school, they're going to have their own individual money, because they can then incorporate themselves as a home business and teach from school. Like, I ain't no way in the world I'd be coming home and just working on it. My home will be a business. All right. We'll be doing check write-offs. Okay. So anyhow, once people really have because knowledge is power, but if they don't have the knowledge, there it is, right? And some people don't. I've seen people get their doctorate and still want to work for somebody else. I don't even understand that. I've seen people get a master and still got to work for somebody else. Like, I just don't understand. What is the point of all that? If you're going to be little league anyway, you might as well just go ahead and be with Troy. Troy and them's, you know what I mean? Because it's like you're taking all these leaps forward just to stay back. For what?
I mean, some of them leaps forwards and adding some commas and stuff like that to your check and stuff. So, I mean, you still working for somebody else, but some of them degrees of the paper, sometimes they lead to you bringing in more money. So,
but I say,
you're not hanging out with Troy still.
Yeah, but I say do something with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never understood having a doctor. I never understood a doctor not having his own. Because I come from a different place in time where the doctors really had their own. All the doctors were our complexion, they had their own business. They were functioning. They had their own offices that you go visit. I don't know what happened, but that's the way it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Just like Black people used to be Republicans. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? It goes deeper than deep. It's like so much deep. You know what I mean? I just look at it like, it's forever changing, and the safety part is being at home. That's the safety part. But like I said, all parts got to work together. They got to be all together. And
you still, I mean, and they may need to have some options, 2, 3 schools, and
they always have options.
In each
just because they're home don't mean they don't have options.
I mean, they have options for full-time schooling for like older kids, because I mean, you still have handicapped children that'll be entitled to full-time. So I mean, there should still be some options, especially children in dire situations that need that to come in all day.
Right.
Because if it's a choice where the child, even some children may ask to be at school all day. I think in those type of situations, if it's the child asking and not the parent asking, it would be a good thing, especially if the child has shown that they can succeed and they can do the work and things like that virtually. I think a little bit more thinking and thought needs to go into it, as far as, the school boards and the school administrations, and they need to work more closely with the children and parents to kind of see the best fit for each one. But the goal should be, moving forward in the future, to move away from 100% full-time brick and mortar school for children of certain grades and higher, I believe.
But I don't know why people think that they have to be brick and mortar. It's not a law that you have to be brick and mortar. It's a law that they passed that your child has to be in school by 8th grade. That's the law.
It's the norm. It's what we.
No, I'm saying that's the law.
But
that your child has to be all before that. They don't bother them. But 8th grade on up, it's like a big deal. But what I'm saying is, it could be a homeschool as well. That incorporates for school. Yeah. That doesn't mean you have to go to a brick and mortar.
Yeah, it could be homeschool, but again, somebody probably has to be at home to do the schooling.
That's the
So
whole point of the
that,
school.
well, I mean, some parents, again, they're not able to be home. They have to work full
But
time
home, no, no, no,
and
no, no.
things
Wait a
like
minute. Wait a
that.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait
No,
a
I'm
minute.
just
Wait
saying.
a minute. Wait a minute, because I don't want somebody to take away from this that they can't homeschool and be doing things that they need to do for themselves. I homeschool.
Well,
Homeschool means at your level, what you are able to work around because you are the teacher.
well, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it is
So
doable.
your school operates the way you operate it. Okay.
It's
At what
doable
hours you
because
operate
you
it.
can have class at
Yeah.
midnight. If your child sleep during the
Exactly.
day and you at home at midnight, you can
Exactly.
have class during midnight. But it's
Your
just a
child could be
matter of
nocturnal. You guys
that
could be
parent.
nocturnal, whatever. The bottom line is, I just want that to be clear. You can have it and you can definitely still work. You know what I'm saying? It's no, it's better in a sense, because at least that way you know where your child is all the time. You won't have to worry about nothing. You know what I mean? To me, that would be a good thing. My child with me. Oh yeah, I don't have to worry about XYZ because I'm a worrier. Things have happened to me in my childhood that is unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been over, protective about mine. But that's a big deal for me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
want anybody to take away that they can't do certain things, that they can really operate, but it has to be according to you to operate because it's your home school and that's the way you operate it. People need to get out of that mindset, that mental slavery thing. That's like a mental slavery that you can only do something this way. Okay.
well, of course, there's a million ways to do things. It all depends on the state that they live in and things like that. All the freedoms that they have, with homeschooling, it's dependent upon the state.
It's not
And
really dependent
yeah,
upon the
it is
state.
because some of the states you actually
Mm-mm.
have to follow their curriculum. You have to have
That's fine.
but
That's
I'm just
fine.
saying,
But they don't work your hours.
it's
They don't set
dependent.
your hours. They don't set your hours.
Well, yeah, no, they don't set your hour, but
So
I'm just
that's what I'm
saying,
talking about. So I don't want them to take away from this that you cannot breathe. Don't do that because they can breathe and set their own hours for homeschool is what I'm trying to, pour out to them.
mhm.
As a single parent, you need
Now
your own
the
hours.
thing
You
is,
can
as a single parent, though, and I understand there's no limits to it, but if you're working full time, you've been to work and you come home, that you may have to, have strict schedules like, okay, well, on my off days is when we have our main classes and stuff like that,
you know what
because
I'm
you're
saying?
not you're not going to want to work 8 hours, 10 hours and come back home and do 5, 6 hours and then have to cook and then have to clean and things like that as well. So I'm just saying there is a little bit of a realisticness to this. It depends on the age of your children, if they are, and also not just the age, but their enthusiasm and the effort that they'll put to them. Yes, you have this textbook. Yes, you have these worksheets. Yes, you can give them the YouTube videos and things like that. But if your child's going to need more of an explanation, more of a time you working with them, you want to make sure that you plan it accordingly, when you tackle homeschooling. But again, it's to your individual child, your schedule, the time, also the help you have, because it takes a community. You might have
I
brother,
say
sister, cousin, auntie, uncle, and things like that that can also help you with making sure the child gets what
true.
they need without you having to be there all the time too. So
Yeah, but it's strictly solely speaking on just the individual that's homeschooling their child. If it's a single parent, I've already, I had my dose, I've experienced it. You can do it. And you can do it based on your hours, everything is yours because it's your private school. Okay. So I don't want, anyone to shy away from that because it's your child and you're the best teacher for that child. That's why that child was born unto you. Now, you're
honestly,
their
I
first teacher.
homeschool too.
You're their first teacher, and guess
Hmm.
what? You may be their last.
Hmm.
Okay,
I
but
will
I'm
be
just
mine's
saying.
last teacher because mine's their sophomores and I've been homeschooling
So
this school
what
year.
what what I was saying was that when you said something in regards to that, I was trying to respond to it because it's very valuable. It was something that you were saying. But anyway, yeah, so you can do it based on your schedule, your time, because it's your private school. I've experienced that. I did it. It can be done. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I point blank that whether you're tired or not. You got teachers that work when they're tired, okay? Teachers that call out when they're tired, okay? No, it's not going to be perfect. All right, but you can do it. You know, if you want, if you really want to do it and you want to keep your child safe, just and if you feel like you you are overwhelmed just thinking about doing it, just try it. You know what I mean? I guarantee, and I'm speaking from a person who, you know, really walked that walk. So it's like, just try it. Try it for like a week or two, or maybe even a month. Give it a month and see how you like it. Because it's very important. You know, the best teacher is you. Parents need to know that. You know what I mean? You
And
don't know what these teachers are teaching your children. You just don't have a clue. You know what I
another thing,
mean?
if if you feel confused or seems overwhelming and you're looking for resources, she has homeschooled. I currently do homeschool, so maybe you can ask your questions in the comments and we can refer you to different curriculum or different resources. And there's lots of millions of like social media groups on Facebook or whatever with that have resources and information
It's
about
a whole
switching to
community too.
homeschooling. Several communities, yes, out
It's,
there.
yeah, you have seven, and you have a parenting community that really homeschool, and they get together and they talk about things, you know. But I guarantee you, you will, you know, those of you who are, you know, feeling like, okay, you're not good enough or you're not this or something like that,
Mhm.
I guarantee you, you can get it done because, again, you are your child's best teacher. You are also the first teacher, you know, that they have ever known. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they really hold that dear. You taught them everything they know up until this point where you want to turn them over. And that's fine if you know, you do. However, it's other alternatives, and we like Tech was saying, you know, we really need to think about moving towards a future, and that's powerful. It's that point now. It's at that point now. Stop complaining. Stop going back and forth to PTA meetings. Stop complaining about what haven't been done, and just do it yourself. You
Yes.
know, because it can be
Mhm.
done. You know, whew, that's the biggest deal. It can be done. I'm living proof. Tech is living proof. You know, you can do it.
Yeah.
So now getting back to that woman, I really don't, I don't, I don't really like that because I actually, you know, when I seen that video, I know that that's real. You know, I know that some people really think, you know, oh my God, my child is home. Like that really hurts a little bit, you know, when you think about it, because it's like, what the child be feeling? You know what I'm saying? The child happy to see their mom, you know, they grateful they can have a mom that's, you know, available to them and have a home to be in, you know, have that, you know, security blanket and such. However, I don't know what they're thinking about at that point, but ew, you know, it makes you go ew. Like, what kind of parent are you? Like, you don't have a clue for real. You
Mhm.
doing what you're supposed to do,
Tell
you
you,
know?
I bet you if they were to take the school away where it wasn't a full-time school up until 18, there'll probably be less children born because you have to think about that. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to be home with this child. Okay, they might be in school maybe the first 4 years, but from that point on, I'm gonna be home with them. I might have to be home with them forever, or to at least 18 to 25 years old. So that may make a few people
And
think
like you
twice.
said, forever,
Mhm.
you know, and I can't predict the future, but I guarantee you, like we talked about things that were abnormal lasting longer than long. What
Mhm.
do you think we're moving towards? If you haven't figured it out, you know, figure it out because it's happening right now.
Mhm.
You know, we're moving towards that, you know. The bottom line, we're in that for real, you know, and woo, 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 woo. I really can't say anymore. You know, we're in the midst of it's time it's time to grow up. You know, at some point, you know, gotta grow up. I understand what people say, oh, I wasn't ready to be a parent, or I wasn't ready, or I just wasn't ready yet. Well, I say ready is when they come out, you know what I'm saying? When they come out and they start crying, when they come out your belly, or when they come out, you know what I'm saying? In general, that's the time. That's the time right there where they need you the most. From that point on is where they need you the most. They don't need to hear your whining and crying because you're not a baby anymore once you done gave birth, right? It means that the roles flip here. All right. The real baby is in your arms. You know what I mean? And that baby really needs to, know everything that you can possibly teach them, about how to, live in this world.
And another thing is, if you look at all the other countries and how long the children are in school, here in America, we baby our children, letting them go to school up to 18 years old. Most countries by 14, they figured out whether or not you're gonna make it, and they'll decide if they sending you further school or not sending you to further school. We have these children in school up until they're 18, and they still barely able to make it as adults out here. So we're really doing a poor job of teaching them anything.
It's when you say we, that's fine. But like I said, it's because of that situation that we talked about. Once you have the best teacher, you will have the best result. The best teacher is always, like I said, it's your parent.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just is.
Well, some people
Same person who taught you how to walk, hold that spoon, go to the bathroom. It's just natural nature for you to learn from them.
Some people don't have that luxury. Some people's parents weren't all that emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, we're not talking about those. We're not talking about those.
But I mean, we have a lot of those.
Yeah, but we're not talking about those.
Family, a lot of them are fresh, 1-2 generations away from slavery. So the things that they teach you, I mean, yeah, they teach you things to move forward in the future, but they're not the most wholesome of things. It's not a complete learning, because some things they never got that self growing up. So
well, I'm not incorporating them in my thoughts. I'm just incorporating the ones who are definitely available, because those right there, they're not even thinking about homeschooling, period. So that's not even an option for those. You talking about that
even take the homeschool out of the equation. No, even if you take the homeschool out of the equation, because if you want to say the percentage of families that actually homeschool now, and I know it's going up now since the pandemic, but what is it, maybe at 40% or something like that, maybe 25 to 40% of families homeschool. So it's not a majority of things. So we have to go back and look at the majority of cases, which are non-homeschool cases. They're not getting that from home.
Again, like I said, I'm not really catering to those who are not the like-minded ones. I'm talking about the ones who are initially bringing something to the table, to the parent table, not the whiny one who say, "No, I didn't want him to." We know they're not going nowhere. I don't know what happened there, but I mean, that's just common sense. It's like, that's not going to be a moving train at all. Y'all gonna be here for a while. You might as well just go ahead and wait for another train to come back, because that is not moving at all.
To survive, it takes both book sense and common sense. And some of those things you might get one at home and you might not get the other. So again, there's that catch up. So again, most students at 18 graduate and they are not ready.
What is your point, like, because I'm trying to figure out where you're going, like where
I'm just saying just how much time the children in America spend in school. Most countries, they don't get that much time in school yet. Most of them just still aren't mature enough or ready enough for the real world at 18. Of course, they get out there in it because they have no choice but to get it and go. They figure it out. But
are we okay? But are we on the same topic? Because we're talking about moving forward and the parents able to homeschool, the ones that are mentally stable enough
We're
to
not
homeschool, not
focusing
the
on.
ones who are whiny baby crying about, oh my God, because we don't
I'm
even
not
include them.
focusing
They're
on
not included in
homeschool.
my conversation.
Homeschool isn't the majority of the kids here. That's not a majority. The people that homeschool is not a majority. So I'm
what are we
focusing
talking
more on
about
the
here? Because we're having two
just the
different
education
conversations.
system in general. The education
Okay, so
system in
that's what you're
general.
talking about. See,
Yeah.
I was taking that which from the video, and we were talking about,
Well, she's not
homeschooling. We were
She's not
talking
homeschooling,
we were
definitely.
talking about homeschooling. We were letting someone know that that's a part of parenting, X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. We definitely don't include her.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see
But
where that was going. So you're talking about the whole system now.
Yes.
So now this is a whole different topic question.
The whole
This is a whole different topic.
Well, that
So
parent right there in the video wasn't part of the homeschooling bunch. So I mean, we're talking about her. Her child will be in the system that a child stays in a brick and mortar school till they're 18 and still barely make it or barely survive.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's common sense.
Yeah.
That's the point I brought up for homeschool. If you really want to really move forward, like you said, then I really stress the fact that, you may want to put them in the home.
Definitely.
If the home is a functional home in which they can function. Don't put them in a chaotic situation, no. But just put them in something that really is secure for them to learn, which should be home.
Yeah.
That
is the best place for, honestly, if you can. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can stand them, if you can do the work, mommy, if you can just get by a whole entire day with no break. Listen, oh my goodness. I am sincere, man. That is no good. That is no good. That scares the heck out of me. That interview made me really feel something. You know what I'm saying? Like that really hurt. That really hurt. You carry these children. You didn't carry one, you didn't carry two, you carried three. And you didn't have a clue. Somebody buy a vowel or consonant or something, because this is unreal. That hurt. That's all I was saying, Ted. You got something on the close?
Yep. No. Again, I do want to thank you all for listening and shout out to all of you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Do you have anything else?
What you said, and definitely don't be afraid to hit the comments up, you guys, and pass this video along, because I want to hear what everybody else got to feel on this, because this is a hot topic right now, what's going on in this world today. And how do you feel about that interview? How do you feel about that woman who said what she said? Okay. Your views on her as well as the system, and your views on homeschooling as well. And that's it, Tech. That's what I got to add.
All right.
So if life lasts,
death pass.
You guys will see us again. You will see or hear us again. Until then, namaste.
Okay. My love. See you.
One.